So finding your joy in your life. I talk about joy a lot because it was something for me that I lost. I literally lost. I lost my joy and excitement. There was a period in my life where I couldn't remember the last time I'd felt genuine joy and excitement about something. And it was really concerning at the time. And I realized it'd been years for me. And I think it was just my body's way of just trying to tell me something was wrong. Something was really wrong. And I needed to focus on it and help myself in some way. But back then, I just didn't know how to do it. But I remember being very aware of it and concerned about it, and also trying not to be concerned about it because I didn't want to put too much emphasis on it. I was like, well, if I don't put an emphasis on it and I try and ignore it, then maybe it might just pop up when I least expect it, when I'm just getting on with my life. It'll just appear. But it didn't, and it took a lot of practice. I use that word a lot because this work does take practice. My two words are curiosity and consistency with this stuff. And that can sound quite dull, oh God, I got to do this every day. But when you start to do this and you start to see the little moments of changes in you, you will want to carry on doing this work, and it is joyous when it happens. So we can begin to cultivate more of it in our lives. Joy. So the first things I want you to ask yourself is, so what brings you joy? So for me, I love dancing. I love chatting with my friends. I love reading. I love listening to music. I love listening to podcasts. All these things bring me joy. I love a good coffee in the morning. That first smell of coffee is amazing. And these things bring me so much joy. There's probably a load of other things. I don't want to do a list. And I remember back in the day, I realized that I wasn't doing these things that often. And I thought it's such a weird thing. I think it's an odd thing as humans that we don't do things that bring us joy, even though we know we like them. Like, I know that dance brings me joy, but yeah, I don't do it though. At that point, I wasn't doing it that often. I was like, oh, what? And it was almost, yeah, it was a struggle at the time, but I thought, well, how can I incorporate this into my life more? Okay. Then what used to bring you joy? So for me, this would be just playing outside. I remember I used to be outside quite a lot. I used to love drawing. I used to love making up dances when I was younger and just doing all sorts of things like that, being really creative. I think especially as children, we get to be so creative, and just you can watch children playing now and they can literally just run around just with nothing and just make up stories and just, yeah, and I love that. And we lose that ability when we get older. So really think about what you used to do and if you can incorporate any of that into your life now. So what can you easily do to bring more joy into your life now? So literally, out of the things that you've listed, what are the things that you can literally start doing today? Like really easily. And they don't have to be even long. For me, the dancing thing, I wasn't doing every day, but I decided, okay, I'm just going to do it for 10 minutes. That's it, just 10 minutes. And 10 minutes doesn't sound like a lot, but actually sometimes when I've done 10 minutes, I want to do longer than 10 minutes because I'm like, yeah, I'm into this. I love it. But if it's just 10 minutes and I just want to do 10 minutes, then that's fine. That's all I do. Sometimes I put on just a bit more mellow music and just, do a bit of kind of sway thing. Sometimes I'm like jumping around my kitchen like a loony bin, and it's amazing. So is there anything? And like I say, they don't have to be long. It doesn't have to be complicated. Just things you can really easily implement into your life now. And basically, all these things try and include in your life now. And it sounds so simple. And some of the best ways you can do this, I know with habits, it's better if you want to create new healthy habits, is attach them to ones that you already do. So the dancing one for me, I started doing when I was cooking, because I love cooking. I cook every day, mostly every day. So I thought, well, great, just get some music on and just dance when I'm cooking. And that was a way for me to incorporate that very easily into my life. And I've done it way more in the last month or so since I've been doing that than I've ever done it. And it always makes me feel better. So just try and incorporate them into your life and just keep it simple and short and just stay consistent with it. And other ways you can bring joy into your life, you can just get talking to people. And I know sometimes it's a bit weird when you have people just chatting to you randomly. Maybe you always get it, when you're traveling quite a bit, and sometimes it can feel a bit awkward. But you know what? Sometimes those connections are great, and they can be even the shortest little connections. Maybe you're buying your coffee and you have a little bit of a chat with the barista or something, and those connections really, really matter. And they can feel very insignificant, but they can make a massive impact on both of you. The next one is just give a little bit. I'm not asking for like massive amount. This can be through charity, but can also be helping someone in need. This can actually bring you joy. Giving does bring you joy. Like I say, it doesn't have to be huge amounts of money. It can just be a small amount. So then random acts of kindness. I love this one. I think there's like a day of this. There's probably like an awareness day of this, but I think it should be all the time. Buying that person behind you a coffee, maybe baking for your colleagues at work. I don't know, letting people come in front of you, in the queues and things, anything like that. Just random acts of kindness can really boost joy. And of course, the one we all know and love is exercise. Yes, even just 10 minutes a day, even just that little brisk walk round for 10 minutes, that's all it takes. And it just gets you going. And again, sort of off the back of that, getting out into nature is just a wonderful sensory kind of thing. You can find yourself just relaxing way more being out in nature. I love just getting all my senses going. What can I see? What can I smell? What can I taste? What can I touch? All the things. And it definitely brings me joy. So it probably does you. And again, this is trying to be more mindful. I know mindful is a word that we love to use, mindfulness. But yeah, when you're having your coffee, just smell it before you taste it. Really sense it, smell it, taste it when you're touching the coffee. What does it feel like? Not the coffee, the cup, obviously. And do this with other things, like even when you're eating. And the last but not least is try to avoid the news or doom scrolling in the morning. This really sets you up for the day, I think. For me, I don't follow the news. I find things out still. If it's important, I'll hear about it in some other way. But really, that good half an hour, if not an hour in the morning, stay off your phone, stay off the news, try and not do it. This is easier said than done. I sometimes lapse into doing this as well, but I do think it's really good to just give yourself that moment when you're waking up to not just be hit with all the negativity. And the last thing I just want to talk about is making a joyful playlist. I love a joyful playlist. I literally have a playlist called Tilly's Happy Tunes, and it brings me so much joy. And there's ones on there that I either love singing to, and there's also ones on there that I love dancing to. So whatever floats your boat, whatever resonates with you, maybe like it's a good, a song from your childhood that you just love, or you just want that song that you just can't get out of your head. Anything goes. Make a playlist and listen to it as often as you can. So that is my chat on finding your joy. And that's why my programs are called Find Your Joy, because you will be able to find it. Thank you for listening.